13, put in Ashton at fullback or Mamo at fullback and kind of freeing up a bit more speed and pace at that stage of the game in the last 20 minutes or so. It felt like to me. So I think that's why Sky were almost trying to tell Steve Price what he was supposed to do, but he just seemed reluctant to do it. It was bizarre. Like, you've got an option to change it up when you're clearly not clicking, and you're not taking it. It didn't make sense to me, because Hull were just using the opportunity of business as usual after that first 20 minutes of intensity. Business as usual became them controlling the pattern of play.
Yeah, and whenever Warrington looked like they'd have a chance, they'd spilt the ball because they panicked, as people said. So, yeah, Warrington's halves were poor in this one. Widdop, for me, I don't remember him doing anything good.
I remember him trying to do good stuff a lot, but I think he put the kick in for Gelling's try, but that was probably more Gelling than Widdop that got scored. I think he seemed to take too much control of the game in the first half for Warrington, and I was starting to think, where's Austin for periods of it? So, yeah, why let the player who's not actually done us much good stuff? Because Austin has consistently, in the last 2 years, ripped Hull FC apart.
Yep.
But he seemed to be... And it didn't seem to be like it was Hull FC stopping him play, because he didn't really get the ball that much.
He was upset after he claimed that he'd been poked in the eye and nothing happened.
Yeah, but when was that?
That was in the first half.
Right.
And after that, he obviously, couldn't see to do anything.
Yeah.
After being hit in the shoulder.
No, I think a finger did rub his eye, but there was nothing like intent there, but it did happen. So what do we make of any of the tries in this game then? Which ones stood out to you guys, Al, first?
The ones I really remember are Cater's and Saté's tries.
Yeah.
Because of the work that Connor did in the build-up. And they were very similar in the fact that Connor kind of had a mazy run and kind of put players into space, either by the... Was Saté's pass or was it a kick? I can't remember now.
No, it was a pass,
yeah,
wasn't it?
That was a pass and Cater's was the kick.
Cater's was the kick.
But in terms of the actual input that Connor had, they were kind of... He was doing... Yeah, as you said, he was doing Connor things when he was able to do them. And... Yeah, success for Hull FC in the next kind of 2-3 years is keeping Connor productive. And if that means playing him at fullback and then, putting other players out of position, that's what you have to do because there's such a better side with him doing that.
Well, he had a part in all 4 Hull tries, didn't he? It was his play that set up the break and then the move for the try. For Faramo's try as well, that got the scoring going, and of course he scored that try at the end that no one really understood quite what happened until we all watched the replay and thought, this is obviously a try. Good call on the field by the refs. None of us thought that was going to happen.
No, I mean refereeing, I thought it was okay. It felt like it was a bit of a playoff style approach, i.e. things were let go that might have been pulled up earlier in the year.
It felt like a playoff game. The speed of the first 20 minutes was really good, and I wondered if Hull could actually keep up with Warrington, because normally Warrington, with people like Clark and Hill and Cooper, can keep going, but without Cooper and Hill being past his best, it didn't happen. Sarah, who did you pick out then as your stars for Hull FC? Do you kind of agree with me and Al that Connor was the main man, or did you pick out some other stars?
It's another one of those tricky ones where I did feel that across the park, they were all... It was a complete team performance. I think Sneed and Connor probably, for me, edged it over other people. But then Cater was very good as well. And
Satai was great off the bench, I thought.
Do you know, I think it was Satai's best game. because I've thought he's been okay, but he's not shone. But last week I did think he was very good. So yeah.
Yeah, and what was your highlight moment from the game then, as a sort of final thought on this one, Sarah?
Full time.
I got the sense that you were from social media and stuff. I got the sense that you and some of your fellow Hull fans were more worried than you needed to be in the last 10 minutes of this one. Warrington were goosed at that point.
I know, but then wasn't that at the point that they made like a half break or something?
Oh, there was the Charnley no try, wasn't there? Where he went.
Yeah, it just felt like if they got one, they could get two, and then the momentum's all shifted, and we'd throw it away because that's what we do.
Well, not this time.
No, I'm going to say, but in a game where two teams might have a tendency to throw it away, one of you's got to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, and one team throws seasons away, whereas the other team throws games away. And where are we at? The business end.
I mean, I've got to say, I thought FC were incredibly physical through the game. They didn't give Wire a chance really, and yeah, they were. For me, as soon as the kind of drop goal went over, and I know it was only a 5-point margin at that point. I kind of wasn't worried. I thought FC were going to win it. I didn't see Wire coming back into it personally.
Yeah, I think as a neutral, you probably see it more realistically, whereas as a fan,
no doubt,
you have all the memories, don't you?
Yeah. No,
scar tissue. Yeah.
The amount of games that we're definitely going to lose. There's no way we're coming back from this when we've just conceded one try in the first 10 minutes. So I do feel that for sure. Right, let's move on.
I was just going to say one last thing. I think that last tactic of bringing Houghton off the bench is brilliant. I think it really works for the team and it works for Houghton.
Yeah, can't disagree. It's worked really well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to Friday night's game, also at the Halliwell Jones, it was Catalans Dragons against the Leeds Rhinos. Chris Kendall was the referee. Catalans ran out to an 18-0 lead, and it was 18-6 at half-time. It was pulled back somewhat, but not enough by the Rhinos, as it finished 26 points to 14 to the Frenchmen. In terms of the stats, 255 more metres, 18 more tackle busts, 5 more clean breaks, 15 more offloads, and a better tackle success rate. They were all the stat wins for Leeds that didn't translate into a scoreboard win. 17-10 in errors probably ended up being the key stat that was their undoing and determined the outcome. Catalans took their chances better than Leeds. Individually, David Mead, 1 try, 172 metres and 2 clean breaks. Tom Davies, 1 try, 6 tackle busts, 154 metres. Sam Tompkins, 3 try assists, 6 tackle busts, 122 metres and 2 clean breaks. And Matt Whitley, 55 tackles, 12 of which were marker tackles. For the losing Leeds side, it wasn't done without some good performances. Reece Martin, 5 tackle busts and 185 metres. Ash Hanley, 161 metres. Liam Sutcliffe, 1 try, 6 tackle busts, 149 metres and 2 clean breaks. And Conrad Hurrell. Did Liam Sutcliffe score?
Yes.
Yeah, didn't he get the first one?
Oh, hang on. Wasn't that Alex Sutcliffe?
No, he scored just after half-time. And Conrad Hurrell, 1 try, 7 tackle busts, 143 metres and 3 offloads. Yeah, I was remembering the Alex Sutcliffe one, not the Liam Sutcliffe.
Yeah.
1-2. Alan, do you want to start us off with the fan views?
Yep, so Karsten says, Kendall and Hicks messed this game up properly. Swinging arm, the old hopper finger, they did nothing. W2F. Catalans should have been down to 11 men, and then Louis Karma hit. You can't beat Louis Karma.
Tom Wilson 1432 says Leeds were robbed by the refs.
Joshua, we will cover that obviously when we get through these. Joshua's granddad said, a tale of two Tompkins, with Sam showing all that is good about his game whilst Joel proving to be still a total rectum with his prostate examination. Damage all done early in the game for the Winos, forced into chasing the game, making a huge mistakes.
Matt Speakman 20 says, Sam Tompkins masterclass. McNamara looked confident all night, and with that talent on show, he had every right to be. Tompkins and Maloney controlled the game well. Leeds look a different side when Dwyer comes on. Maybe they'll leave him too late. Two bad head knocks didn't help Leeds, and I'm sure Cats will find it hard to back that up next week, especially as they'll probably be without a couple of players. Probably.
Lee Whitnell said, really enjoyable knockout game. Both teams were fully committed, but Catalans were incredible in the first half. Leeds were behind the 8-ball, losing 2 props, but they battled hard, and if McLaurin had got a deserved card, they might just have jagged it in the second half. Catalans worthy winners overall. Can they repeat the 2018 Challenge Cup semi-upset next week?
Richie Myler said, my bumhole hurts.
The rectum of Wigan says, my finger smells of poo.
John Hamilton said, Leeds were tired, but I hope that we could stay in touch and get them at the end, hoping the Dragons lacked match fitness. Let's get HIA was brutal. Sam Cassiano made him look like a little kid. We go back for crusher tackles. Why not when someone gets up bleeding from the nose and mouth? Sam Tompkins was excellent. Still a classy nod by the Rhinos to the retiring O'Loughlin by only playing the same amount of minutes as he does.
Tom Andrews said, so if grabbing a handful is a squirrel tackle, what was Tompkins attempting a burrow tackle? No. We're not having that, Tom, not this year. Looking for a squirrel in its nest. At least he's living up to his rectum name. At least his brother is showing some quality, as much as that pains me to say. Some interesting games next week.
And Brendan Loftus says, those former Wigan pair hopefully get banned for their actions. Other than that, Catalans were pretty good. End of a long season for Leeds. So,
yeah, there is some bans incoming for Catalans. Michael McAlorum has got a grade B high tackle charge and a 1-match penalty notice for the tackle on Brad Dwyer. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Michael McAlorum has also got a grade F other contrary behaviour charge that's referred to the tribunal, so that could be anything of an 8-game ban or upwards, but that's for the incident just after the high tackle where he went to pick Brad Dwyer back up to put him back on his feet, sort of thing. I guess sort of interfering with a potentially injured player would be the reason for that charge.
Well, yeah, if you're going to take HIAs seriously, you can't have other players interfering in that process, can you?
Yeah, it seems a bit steep for what he actually physically did, but yeah, you're right. It's if there's a player potentially with a potential head injury, you don't want to be messing around with them like that. And Joel Tompkins got a grade F of a contrary behaviour charge referred to the tribunal for that prostate exam, as it was described as. So do we start with that, guys? I think it's what most people want to talk about. We'll start with the McAlorum one because that one came first, and both these incidents were in the second half, both of them when Leeds were trailing by at least 2 scores at the time. I think the second, the Joel Tompkins one, it may be even in a wider margin. So I don't know about if it would have definitely swung the game another way, but certainly there's potential for players to have been punished during the game, maybe. So the first one, Michael McAlorum, it was a high tackle on Brad Dwyer. Clearly a high tackle, clearly missed by the on-field officials. That's plain to see. John asked about, was it John? Asked about we go back for a crusher tackle, but why not when someone gets up bleeding from the nose and the mouth? So they would have reviewed that. The protocols are, if the video referee thinks a card should have been given for the incident, then they go back. Then they will have a look at it and give the card. But if they just think it would have been worthy of a penalty, they don't just give a penalty, because we would have people sitting down for high tackles all the time, like we had started to see when they were going for penalties after them. So that was changed about 2 years ago. So obviously all I can determine from that is that the video referee, who I think was Robert Hicks,
Taylor.
what people